Man, I think I saw an alien. Or was it a time travel? I don't know. Either way, this man is crazy as hell. Who am I talking about? Well, the one and only Leonardo Da Vinci. That's right. So I got the chance to visit the Leonardo Da Vinci Interactive Museum in Florence, Italy. And boy, let me tell you what it is. It's pretty crazy. It blew my mind, to say the least. You know, people keep saying this man was way ahead of his time. Well, what does that mean exactly? Well, you're about to find out why. I think he's simply out of this world. Here we have the Leonardo da Vinci Interactive Museum in Florence, Italy. This is the man himself, the great genius Leonardo da Vinci. Here you have a little introduction to his work, the anatomy. Oh, we're gonna have a fun ride today. So here's the rundown. Our boy Leo was born on April 14th, 1452. He started his work in his hometown of Vinci, went on to gain prominence in Florence, and then went on to solidify his genius across different cities in Europe. He was a true Italian polymath, indulging in various fields such as art, engineering, biology, mathematics, poetry, and a whole lot more. I mean, in this day and age, this man would have had 25 PhDs, and mind you, he didn't even go to school. So, let's take a look at some of his work, starting with his fascination with warfare. You know what this is? This is the original idea for an army tank. That's what this is. The armored vehicle was an original concept by Da Vinci during the late 15th century. It was a wheeled, four-legged contraption resembling a tortoise. It featured internal crew positions surrounded by cannons and firearms. Its metal-plated exterior offered vital crew protection. Conceived as a solution for siege warfare, this revolutionary idea was to provide essential cover for advanced troops against the enemy. Da Vinci conceptualized a design for a rapid-fire weapon that is often referred to as his machine gun. The design was a wheeled weapon with several musket barrels. It was a hand-cranked device capable of firing multiple shots in quick succession. Da Vinci's machine gun was a pioneering concept in the realm of firearms. It was intended to provide a means for rapid and sustained firepower on the battlefield. This man was an evil genius sometimes. So, Da Vinci conceptualized a unique horse-drawn carriage. It was designed with rotating blades mounted on the outer perimeter of the carriage. These blades were intended to deter and defend against potential attackers. The carriage with blades was an innovative concept for enhancing the security of travelers. It was devised as a means of safeguarding passengers from potential threats during their journeys. So do you know the bridge that they use in an aeroplane to, protect the plane so people walk down? Similar concept. The only difference is this was used with castles that had a moat in front of it so that the soldiers could cross the moat using the bridge and attack the castle. Who comes up with this shit? Leonardo da Vinci, that's who. So Leonardo da Vinci's Macchina d'assalto, also known as the assault vehicle, was a groundbreaking war machine designed to breach enemy fortresses. It was a large, wheeled vehicle equipped with a range of offensive weaponry. It featured a central turret housing cannons and firearms. It had a protective barrier for the crew inside and also had a bridge-like structure on the top. It was intended to advance towards enemy walls, providing cover for troops while they approached any fortress. This assault vehicle was conceived to revolutionize warfare during sieges. So the catapult was a common weapon used in warfare back in the medieval times. But Leonardo's design incorporated a series of mechanical improvements over traditional models. It had a single-arm lever as opposed to the old double-arm design, making it easier to control. It had a longer launching arm, which provided increased leverage and power. It also incorporated a drum to store and regulate energy, ensuring consistent and precise launches. The design was made to be more efficient, powerful, and precise.
Leonardo Da Vinci thought, what if we can make it move with some ropes and pulleys? You know what that means? This is the original concept for a robot.
Now you know this man was clearly some sort of weird alien creature, because hey, who would have thought about automation at the time? Da Vinci conceptualized a humanoid robot. Designed around 1495, this self-propelled automaton featured a knight's armor attached with gears, wheels, and articulated joints, enabling it to mimic human movements. While it couldn't function independently, it represented a pioneering step in robotics and automation. So the very first flying machine that Da Vinci designed is called the ornithopter, which is basically designed to mimic bird flight. So it had like wings and it had different variations. Then there's this one we called the triple-armed flying machine, which featured 3 wings, each equipped with a fan at the end. It was intended to be controlled using a lever mechanism, allowing the pilot to manipulate the wings for lift and stability.
If you're wondering what this weird contraption is, let me tell you what it is. It is the original concept for a helicopter. This man's is crazy.
Then there's the aerial screw, an ancestor of the helicopter. It was a vertical flight device resembling a screw or a corkscrew. It was designed to lift off the ground and achieve flight. There's no evidence that he built a functioning flying machine during his lifetime. However, his concepts laid the foundation for future development and inspired many people, such as the Wright brothers. This is a hoisting gear with a drum. Designed for lifting heavy loads using a drum mechanism, this device featured a rotating drum around which a rope could be wound. By turning the drum, a person could lift weights with relative ease, demonstrating Da Vinci's innovative approach to mechanical engineering. Although Da Vinci did not invent the printing press, he did create an improvised concept. Leo's concept involved a rotating wheel with a movable type on its surface. This design aimed to enable rapid typesetting and text arrangement. It also suggested the potential for a more streamlined operation that could be managed by a single individual, as opposed to Gutenberg's press, which needed multiple people to operate efficiently. Leo conceptualized a self-locking system using a wheel and a rope tied to a bag. This design was intended to create a mechanism that would automatically lock a door or gate when the bag reached a certain height. The idea was that as the bag filled with water, it would become heavier and eventually cause the wheel to turn, engaging the locking mechanism. Da Vinci was also a fan of music because he conceptualized many instruments, one of which was a mechanical drum machine. This device featured a rotating cylinder with pegs that, when turned, would strike the drum's surface with varying rhythms. This exemplified his innovative approach to combining mechanics and music, showcasing his multidisciplinary talents beyond art and science.
Which was used to study optics, optical illusions, how light and shadows function.
While not built in his time, Leonardo da Vinci's mirror chamber, the Camera degli Specchi, was designed for optical experiments, artistic inspiration, and scientific curiosity. It provided a controlled environment for studying light behavior, exploring visual effects, and creating infinite reflections. Leo loved to experiment with darkness and light, which is pretty evident in many of his paintings. It was probably around that time he came up with this idea for the mirror chamber, which would allow him to explore light-related aspects, which would be light and darkness and optical illusions and reflections and whatnot. Da Vinci's fascination with hydrography stemmed from his insatiable curiosity about the natural world. He was captivated by the mysteries of the underwater realms and sought to explore them in depth. This profound interest in aquatic environments led him to conceptualize various inventions, one of which was an early version of the scuba suit. Through his studies of marine life and underwater landscapes, Leo recognized the need for a device that would enable humans to breathe underwater. Da Vinci's remarkable talents extended to various fields, including cartography, where he demonstrated his keen observational skills and precise attention to detail. An exemplary display of his cartographic prowess is evident in his intricate map of the city of Imola. Through meticulous measurements and careful rendering, Leo captured the city's layout with incredible accuracy. Leonardo da Vinci's exploration into anatomy was truly profound. Although he did not get the recognition he deserved at the time, he meticulously studied bodies of humans and animals alike, cutting open corpses and really diving in, so to speak.
Human body function. Here's the tools. Come here. Check this out. Here's the tools that he used to check inside the human body, and then he created art. Look at the artwork. This man's science and art collides with this man.
Of course, anatomical drawings existed before him. However, his work was infinitely more accurate and well detailed, an entanglement of science and art. His studies in anatomy also helped his other fields. For example, understanding how the human body functions and how it can be hurt or injured helped him design certain weapons such as the bladed carriage. Examining the anatomy of birds helped fuel his ideas for flying machines. It was also incredibly useful when it came to his artwork. Speaking of his artwork,
And here we have his greatest masterpieces. Mona Lisa. The Last Supper.
Capisce che un'elica può appoggiare sull'aria per sollevare un peso da terra. Nel 1498 Leonardo lascia Milano. La sua fama è al culmine. Riceve incarichi da tutte le corti d'Italia. Quindi ritorna a Firenze sotto la corte di Giuliano de Medici, fratello di Papa Leone X.
Now, we all know how great of an artist he was. However, he was also a great polymath, and this helped expand his art greatly. For example, his anatomical studies informed his precise depiction of the human form, evident in works like the Vitruvian Man. He invented chiaroscuro, the art of using light and shadow, like in the Mona Lisa. He uses color alone instead of marking lines. Imagining light from the upper left, the left side illuminates her cheek and forehead, while the right side embraces a subtle shadow. This seamless transition of hues imparts a remarkable sense of depth. His botanical expertise is evident in paintings like The Baptism of Christ, which shows the rich vegetation and meticulous rendering of leaves and foliage through acute observation of plant life. Mastery of hydrography influenced water features as seen in the Annunciation. Mathematical expertise ensured impeccable proportions in the Last Supper. And to add to that, the composition, dramatic expressions, and ability to capture human emotion and storytelling could have all been influenced by poetry and literature.
He is probably the greatest human being to ever walk this planet.
And that's what it is. See, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. A quote by William Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's what it is. They cut out half the quote and stop you from pursuing things. See, curiosity knows no bounds. Okay, just like William Shakespeare, Leonardo Da Vinci, amongst other great geniuses, were curious about life, about things, about everything. And I would go so far as to say that Leonardo da Vinci was one of the most curious minds of them all. You know what I'm talking about? Because he looked at everything, an element, a chemical, a sound, a story, whatever it is. If it existed, it piqued his interest. And if it didn't, it fueled his fire. It's insane how this man's brain chose to abstain from the mundane. You know what I'm saying? It's quite great. That's what it is. That's the beauty, people. Do not diminish your curiosity for anything. And parents, do not diminish your child's curiosity, because that is where it either grows or goes to die. See, I was just walking down the street in Florence, Italy, and I bumped into this building and I was like, damn, what is that? That's right, it piqued my curiosity. That's how I even went to this place called the Leonardo da Vinci Interactive Museum. And I gotta say, they do an amazing job bringing his work to life, because remember, he was a genius, but during his time, he was only famous for his artwork, whereas his other works were considered, this man is cool, a little bit. But fast forward to our time now, it laid the foundation for many of the things that we use today. So, cuckoo and genius, sometimes two sides of the same coin, and I'm talking about. But hey, that's what it is. So go visit the Leonardo da Vinci Interactive Museum if you ever find yourself in Firenze, Italia. And I'm talking about. That's all I got for y'all today. So stay curious. And you know the drill. Like, share, and subscribe, because I'm gonna make more of these videos. Peace.